Hello and welcome to the first of these music instructional videos. This week we're going to look at modes. Now if you've analyzed the first couple of pieces that you've played, you will notice that all of them have something in common. That is, they start and end on the same note, that is the Do or the C note. And it's safe to say that Do is the tonal center for this music. So Do or C lends the flavor to the whole piece, and that's why it has a certain sound. If you listen to a lot of pop music, and you may not realize this, but a lot of them are composed keeping in mind Do, which is the tonal center of these songs. So you've got a lot of songs that sound great, but they've all got the same idea in terms of composition. And if you're a composer, that's not something you want. You want some sort of variety. You want to have, a palette with which you can paint different colors in music. You don't want to just have one trick in your bag. So let's look at how modes really help us in composition. Now take a look at the piano here. I'm going to play a set of notes. See what you can make of it. If you feel you've got the idea or the pattern, pause and maybe write down the answer or say it out aloud. And I'll tell you what we're doing then. So if you said that it's the C scale, or the solfege going from Do or the C note, which is the lowest, to the highest Do or the C note, the C8, then you're absolutely right. And that's what it is. It is the C scale that starts with C and ends with C. Let's try something interesting now. Rather than starting with C or Do, what if we start with D or the Re note? What's going to happen if you play the whole scale starting with D and ending with the high D? Let's see. Doesn't that sound different? And I'm still using the same 8 notes. So there's Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti and Do, but I've completely rearranged it and played it in a different way now. So we've got Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, and that's the note we usually start off with, but not this time. And we end the whole scale with Re, because that's the note we started off with. And that gives you a very interesting compositional texture. It sounds different, it sounds immediately refreshing as compared to what you've been doing earlier. And the whole point of doing something like this is to have that variety that we talked about before, to have different tools in order to compose. Now imagine having to compose a piece of music using this set of notes. And keep in mind, we're still in the key of C. We're using the same 8 notes, so that hasn't changed. So if you really analyze it, modes are nothing but scales that are played from different starting points, and that's about it. So if you start a scale from D, it gives you a different mode, a different sound. You start a scale with E, it'll give you a different sound, from F, and so on and so forth. And the whole point is you're still using the same notes. You're just starting and ending at different points. And that takes us to this week's piece that you will attempt to play. Any music that has the second note or the second degree of the scale, as we call it in musical terms, and if that is, the tonal center of your piece, it's known as the Dorian mode. So the second degree, of course, is Re. Do is the first one, Re is the second one, and C is the first note, D is the second one. So D becomes the second degree. And because I have my tonal center, the whole flavor of the piece starts with that Re or that D note, and it ends on it. It gives it that certain sort of a flavor. It's all set in Dorian mode. If it had to start in E, which is the third degree, because you have Do, Re, Mi or E is the third degree, it would be a different mode altogether. But this week we're only going to look at the second mode, that is the Dorian mode. And that's all that I've got for this week. I'll see you guys next week with something new and interesting. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in class. Bye.